Hello, welcome. This is a new mic. I don't know if this is working, but we're gonna test it out. I hope that it does. Hopefully you guys can hear me a lot better than normal. And hopefully the rain sounds that I have in the back aren't very overwhelming. This time it's thunder and rain for a little more ambiance with what we're reading today. This is a little meta, to be honest. If you ever see a channel on YouTube called Alpha Waves _264, stay away from it. That's the story we're reading today. Now, I haven't read this through yet, like I didn't read the others, so this is gonna be new for all of us. It's gonna be a little meta, it's gonna be spooky night. Very dark outside, very dark in here. So, let's begin in with the story. Enlightenment. What is it exactly? Is it reaching a higher plane of existence? Diving into your subconscious, finding your true self? Is it finding answers to questions that have baffled even the best philosophers in history? Or is it finding answers to questions no human was ever meant to ask? I was not a superstitious person. I always believed that everything had a rational explanation, that even the most baffling phenomenon ever observed by humans is just science we have yet to document and explain. I have a lot of friends who are superstitious. Most of them always talked about an unexplained event and how they were caused by supernatural phenomena. I, of course, debated that there was a scientific explanation to each one of those events. We always got into debates, and while I made rational arguments, I would always lose because of the majority vote. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So, one of these friends, Casey, was adamant in making me believe in the paranormal. She was the one who got me into meditation and other spiritual exercises. While I had to admit that they had positive health benefits, I did not believe that I connected to some higher dimension. Seeing as how I was still a skeptic and she decided to try one more thing, out-of-body experience. I laughed at the idea and decided to just stop this nonsense. But, seeing as she was super excited about this, I went along with it, not wanting to break our friendship. I was on my bed, lying on my back while she guided me through it. Before I knew it, I felt a gust of air, followed by a sense of weightlessness, like going down a roller coaster. I opened my eyes, and I was almost touching the ceiling. I turned back to see my body, motionless, and fresh like a recently dead corpse. I panicked, trying to float back to my body. However, before I could reach it, I felt another gust of air followed by the same weightlessness feeling. I awoke, surprisingly calm despite my ordeal. "So how was it?" she asked with a smile. Scary, but fun," I replied. "Cool," she said. "So do you believe?" she asked. I replied. She didn't look happy about that. "Whatever," she said. "I give up." As she left, she said, "Now that you've got the hang of it, you can do it yourself. Don't overdo it." Though I was still not convinced of the existence of the paranormal, I got hooked with out-of-body experience. Over the next week, I would search for a guided meditation on YouTube and project it whenever I could, floating around my house and occasionally outside of it. From my obsession, I was eventually introduced to binaural beats. It's when your right and left ear receive two different sounds on two different frequencies, yet your brain perceives it as one. Though it was a good way to achieve a good sleep in meditation, it didn't serve as an effective method of projecting out of your body. That was until I came across the channel Alpha Waves _264. The first time I saw it, I marveled at how corny one could make a channel title. However, the videos were the real deal. They were like the other binaural beats videos on YouTube, cool background, etc. However, the sounds were a little different. Maybe play it on a different frequency. It wasn't mentioned on the videos, but whatever it was the real deal. In addition to quenching my obsession, it also helped me to do a lot better in my work and my social life. Life couldn't get any better. However, that's when things started to get weird. A few days after I started to notice odd shadows and shapes whenever I astral projected. And I always felt a feeling of being watched. I just shrugged it off, thinking that I was just seeing things and being paranoid. That wasn't the end of it. At work, while talking to my colleagues, they would often use words of a language I didn't understand, a language that sent shivers down my spine. When I pointed it out, they would look at me weird and ask if I was okay. I didn't think much of it, decided to stop the binaural beats therapy for a while, thinking that it might have some effect on my brainwaves or something. Sure enough, things went back to normal. I decided not to watch it for a while, till one day I went on YouTube and saw a new video uploaded by AlphaWaves264. It read, "Binaural beats to help you reach enlightenment." Although I resolved to not touch it for a while, I gave in to addiction, went to bed, put on my earphones, and clicked play. Oh, how I wish I had listened to the angel on my shoulder. As I closed my eyes, I felt a gust of wind followed by the same upward pull I was used to. However, rather than stop at the ceiling, I was swept beyond it, beyond the sky and beyond the blackness of space. It felt like I was on the fastest roller coaster in the universe. Saw a white circle in the distance. My organs were floating inside me and I was sucked into the white and landed face first on a rocky ground. Though I slammed into the ground with great momentum, I didn't feel any pain. Heck, I didn't even have any wounds. The ground was also showing no signs of cracking from my impact. I looked up and surveyed my surroundings. I was on a hill which overlooked a sprawling city in the distance. The sky was dark and the whole place was covered by a thin, puke green mist. The hill was massive, about 1,500 feet in height. The city had towering monoliths that reached up to the sky. Each monolith had a set of 7 bluish-purple rings around them. Holy shit, I muttered. What the fuck? I was both awestruck and confused. There's no way something like this could be achieved through binaural beats. Was I high? Did someone spike the coffee I had this afternoon? A million questions flooded my mind, but were quickly blown away by an ear-piercing roar behind me. I turned around, and what I saw made me lose all motor functions. Behind me was a giant mass of eyes that was even bigger than the hill I was on. It slithered on the surface, making wet, sloppy sounds as it did. As it moved, it went right over the hills and in the mountains, in its way. It had no mouth or anything that could suggest that it could make sound, yet I knew that only a beast like this could make such a horrible sound. It wasn't exactly behind me, rather it was a few hundred meters to the right. So it slithered past me without so much as acknowledging my puny existence. As I walked to the front, I saw more creatures, some bigger than the large monstrosity that I saw before, and even more horrifying. It was a humanoid that had 6 crab-like arms and was so massive that I couldn't even count out its head, which seemed to reach to the clouds and beyond. A large gray eagle-like creature with a spider-esque head and 8 bird-like claws, which were the same sickly green as its feathers. Turquoise-colored humanoid with no visible features, except for a mouth with serrated teeth that ran down vertically from its head to the bottom of its torso. There were others that I couldn't comprehend them. It didn't stop there. As the sun set on this world, it was replaced by a giant eyeball for a moon. Its iris was an amalgamation of colors, both beautiful and terrifying. And it was looking right at me, like it knew I was there, like it only focused on me specifically, on my meaningless existence. I was terrified, unable to move, hoping this would end, that I would go back to my body and continue on with my mundane life and write this off as a bad dream or some trip or something. But I knew that would never happen. This was real. I was in a place that was not meant to be seen by humans, a higher realm. The eye produced 15 smaller eyes attached to it by long cords across its circumference, all looking at me. It cast down a beam of bright blue light on me. As the light hit me, I felt a sense of wisdom and enlightenment, like I had never felt before. Found answers to questions that I had never even thought of asking. Saw things so small that one might think that they didn't exist. Didn't want it to end. The knowledge, the power, heaven and hell, I knew everything. I saw how minuscule our existence was in comparison to the rest of the universe. Eventually, I was sucked away and woke up on my bed, sweating profusely. I touched my face, my arms, my torso, and then I laughed. I laughed and laughed until my heart hurt, fatigue took over, and I fell asleep. I woke up to angry texts from my boss, who demanded to know why I didn't come to work. Apparently, I had slept the entire next day. I told him to shove it and decided to get some fresh air. He can fire me if he wants. I don't care. Not anymore. I go outside, feeling the chill of the early morning air. Birds are chirping, lights of the surrounding houses are off, and the fresh scent of trees is in the park nearby, prompting me to go sit on the beach and take a smoke. I'm writing this now as I see the sun rising, turning the sky a bright orange as it slowly consumes the remaining darkness of the night. I've just checked for YouTube for Alpha Waves 264. Found that the search doesn't bring up anything. The channel is gone. Disappeared along with its trove of knowledge. You can tell me that it was a hallucination, that it wasn't real, but I know better. I know that what I just uncovered is the answer to every single question in the universe. I'm not writing this as a warning or anything. Quite the opposite, actually. I have seen things, both awesome and terrifying. And now that I have reached enlightenment, I see how pathetic we are, how little we know. That's why I leave this here, and tell you that if you find a channel named Alpha Waves 264, please listen to the videos. And Casey, thank you for helping me reach enlightenment. This journal was found in X Park next to the dead body of A 27-year-old man who was said to have had a history of schizophrenia by his work colleagues and friends. The police are still searching for this Casey person mentioned in the entry, of which no one from A's social circle is aware of. The cause of death was blood loss via a slit throat. The channel Alpha Waves 264 has not been found as of the publishing of the journal contents. The contents of this journal were authorized to be published by the government under the agreement that certain content was to be excluded from the published version of the journal. And that's the end. That was actually a really cool story, and I'm kind of sad that it ended. It was really nice. Hopefully that my mic didn't mess up during any of this. I moved around a lot because I'm uncomfortable sitting in one position for a long time. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please leave a like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Please, if you don't want to like the video or subscribe or anything, at least leave a comment telling me what you think of the videos. These are hard for me to make, and just a little bit of feedback on each of the videos goes a long way for me, because it shows me what I need to fix about what I'm doing and exactly what I need to keep doing or stop doing at all. It's very helpful to receive feedback in the comments. So if you could please leave at least a comment. You don't have to do anything else, but at least leave a small little comment with some feedback. That's all I ask. And I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya!